And we are now reconvening in open session, and we will pick up with the agenda with recognition of the high school character counts. What character counts for Dr. Wright? I'm going to turn over to you and let you guide us through this section.
Thank you, and we have students here that'll be recognized. Mr. Webb, do you have the first one?
Hang on a second here.
Mr. Archibet.
Apologize. Do you want to jump to the next one so I can pull up can we do the student of the month and then I'll bring up the character winners?
If that's all right, Mr. Is that okay with you?
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do it in reverse order then. Student of the month, let's start with Blue Ridge Elementary School, Mr. Grace. You're too young to be lumping around and acting like you're sore, I'll tell you that. Okay.
I believe that's an excuse.
It was I was holding a child. It was
Okay.
It was a savior thing.
When you
Got me.
invoke a child, everything's true.
It was my own child, but it's still all the same.
It's all good. It's all good.
So our student of the month is not here tonight, but our student of the month at the elementary school is Lainey Peters, and we will recognize her next week at our award ceremony in front of all of her peers and the campus. Lainey is a third grader with us. She is just a phenomenal student, a phenomenal kid. She's tough as nails, and yet she's a friend to everybody. She's sweet as can be. She works incredibly hard to be the best that she can, and every day, day in and day out, she puts in 100% effort, regardless of what it is, whether it's in class or it's helping others on campus or cleaning up in the lunchroom or anything like that. Lainey Peters, more than deserving for this award. We're very lucky to have her and the other Peters crew too. I don't know all of them, but I'm sure that they're all cut from the same cloth. So, but congratulations to Lainey Peters.
Ms. Hoffmeyer?
Could I have Shandine Cotto come up, please? We are so excited to recognize Shandine. Shandine is our student council president, and so she was nominated by several with amazing things to say. In fact, Ms. Heather was just saying, oh, she is a ray of sunshine. She is just so, we love to see her come into the office because her manners are amazing, and she's just so kind-hearted. So we also have some other things from teachers that were said about Shandine I want to share. As our student council president, Shandine is reliable, friendly, hardworking, willing to work with anyone, artistic, and confident yet humble. She also had her volleyball coach from last year said some things. She does an excellent job balancing the requirements of sports and academics. She does exemplary work in the classroom, always giving her best effort and devoting herself to doing the highest quality work. And one of my favorite things that was said about her, she also holds herself and others to a higher standard, which is an amazing thing to see at the junior high level. So we're very proud of Shandine, and we are excited that she is a student at Blue Ridge.
Mr. Webb?
All right, now we got it all together. Josiah Grisella, come on up. So Blue Ridge High School, we're recognizing Josiah Grisella for Student of the Month for the month of January. Congratulations. Let you hold this so I can hold my phone and read all the awesome stuff about you. So we're recognizing Josiah for the Student of the Month for the month of January. He's one of our outstanding student scholar athletes. He's played soccer all 4 years here at Blue Ridge. This year he is one of the soccer captains, and he is also named All-Region Defensive Player. He plays with grit and tenacity and will have a cool scar to remember from his junior year. What a game. Joe serves at his school by participating in student government and is currently student body vice president, and he's also the historian for the High School National Honor Society chapter. Joe also started a new chapter last year by taking advantage of our fine arts program. He's involved in theater, and he's currently preparing for the musical Sound of Music, and he has a role in that. So come out and watch Joe in his performance. And he also is a member of our mixed choir class. Beyond all of these, Joe is just one of the nicest young men you will meet. He's super friendly, willing to help wherever help is needed, and maintains a weighted 4.5 GPA, taking honors and dual enrollment courses. So smart student. He's awesome. He's great to have here at this school. He plans on attending NAU, majoring in criminal justice, so well deserving of this award. Congratulations.
I just like to say we are lucky to have students like these and parents like these to raise kids like this. It's what makes us the cream of the crop. Thank you.
Mr.
Yeah.
Webb, you're up there for
I'll take
Teacher of the
the-
Month.
All right. If we could call out Bridget Blake, come forward, please. So while she's coming up, she started out as an aide for one of our classrooms, and that didn't last very long. We saw the value in what she could bring to the classroom, and we asked her, and she willingly, graciously accepted to move into the classroom. So let me read a little bit about Ms. Blake. We'd like to recognize Bridget as the Teacher of the Month for January. Bridget is one of the teachers who sees an area of need and comes up with a solution to the problem. She willingly took over as our business teacher last year and has worked with the students to make Be Our Student Store so much better. She provides opportunities for our business students to participate in state and national competitions and also seminars and trainings. Our students are learning real-life business skills and making decisions that will help them if they choose to continue their entrepreneurial paths. In addition to all she does in the classroom, she has played a pivotal role in the end-of-the-year celebration for our graduates. Without her organizational skills and ability to get others to help and volunteer, we wouldn't have had the success we've had over the past 2 years. We hope she continues this role for many years to come. Congratulations. Thank you.
Again, we love it when roots go deep like that.
For the, Mr. Webb, for the BR Star for January.
Yeah, there we go.
He had a little bit, I don't see Catherine here.
She is not here. She had an appointment, and so I said, that's okay, I'll say great things about you anyways. So if I could just say a few things about her. Catherine, she was our Spanish teacher at the high school for many years, and she came back to sub. She is one of our mainstays at the junior high. And she is not scared at all of junior high students, which is fantastic. She comes in with confidence and kindness towards the students, and so much patience. And she has filled in so many places where we've come up on a day we had short notice, and she's saved us several times. And she's also helped us with translating for students too, which is amazing. So she really does so many roles as a substitute teacher, and we're just really lucky to have her. I wanted to make sure we recognized her. Thank you.
Character counts.
All right.
And I did want to, I neglected to mention Bridget's a BR alumni here, so it's awesome. And I think that was a reference. It's great to have former BR students come back and lead in the classroom and at the school too. The month of January, the character trait that the high school focused on was unity. And I don't see any of our students here, but I want to go ahead and read their name. Oh, come on up. Yes, Lexi. How can we forget Lexi? So Lexi did prepare a speech, so we're going to have her talk for a little bit. So let me read the other names. We have Dylan Brown, Denzel Bonilla, Lexi Ordinola, Christian Armstrong, Alexandra Villegas, Damian Tise, and Gianna Girardi. And with the character trait of unity, all of these students were nominated by teachers and all of the classes, so pretty remarkable trait to unify. These are the ones that are going to bring the school together, and an example of this is this young lady right here. The amazing stuff that she does with student council, it's really attributed to Lexi and the skills that you have, so congratulations.
We haven't forgotten anything? All right. Next item on the agenda is an annual thing we have to do is we have to elect board officers. I'm going to throw that out for open discussion right now. To the board.
I just wanted to thank Dave because we've had a very smooth ride this year, even with ups and downs in the district and everything that goes on. I'm sure he spends a lot more time here than people realize. It's a lot more than board members, so thank you.
That's not what we're here to talk about. Well, we're here to elect new board officers for the coming year.
It's the going out and the coming in, and probably we're not letting you go out, so I just wanted to say that before the fight begins.
Are you willing to do it again?
Sure, I like the big bucks. Yeah, this is never mind. So we need a motion for the board president. I guess the motion is myself to be board president, David Merrill. I have a motion. So a second. Chuck? Diana, all in favor? Great. We got it. Okay, so we have to have a vice president and a secretary voted in. In the past, we've just had Mary Ford acting as the board secretary. We probably need to verify that with a vote this year, if that's up to the board. So I would like to motion Chuck Waldo to be vice president. And with that motion, I need a second from Margaret. All in favor of Chuck being vice president for the upcoming school year? That's also unanimous. I'd like to motion also that Mary Ford be the board secretary. Have a second on that? Second from Margaret. All in favor? Thanks. All right. Next item on the agenda is, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Sure.
Dr. Wright, or would you like Kimberly to do this?
Go ahead, Kimberly.
Kimberly?
Point two.
Item 1.2.
Point two.
Agenda items so that we can have the board members approve our vouchers and salary and district expenses so that we can pay our bills.
I would say that the board has been gracious enough in the past to provide this authorization to allow the business to keep moving forward, and then it's always ratified, but we appreciate that flexibility and trust.
Any questions or comments about this? This is pretty much a housekeeping item. I'd like to move that we accept item 1.2 as written. A second from Chuck. All in favor? That also looks to be unanimous. Okay, item 1.3. This is to identify any current conflicts from any governing board members or staff, administration staff. So I've declared that I have no conflicts of interest, and I've filled that paperwork and handed it to Mary. Is it Chuck, Margaret, and then Diana?
Well, my daughter is a teacher here at Blue Ridge at the elementary school, and I have two grandchildren here at the high school, Lauren Cox and Jared Cox. And my son-in-law, Eric Cox, has a contract with the district to have a physical therapy office on campus. So.
The purpose of this is just to state that you would recuse yourself in case of a vote that involved a personal interest like that. Margaret, do you have any?
Yes, as always, if we decide any changes in the insurance carrier or anything for the district, then I would recuse myself because my husband is a doctor in the area and might or might not carry that insurance.
Hold on a second. Okay. Diana.
My daughter, Amanda Butler, works out of the district, and I would recuse myself from anything that involved her personally.
All right, thank you. Jennifer Brimhall has just called in to make a declaration and be part of this board meeting since she's here. So she's called in, and at this time, Jennifer, we are stating any conflicts of interest. Would you like to state any conflicts of interest that you might have in the upcoming school year? Oh, sorry, start over again, I muted you. We had a technical difficulty. IT guys didn't get this right. I pushed the mute button. Sorry, Jennifer. Can you start over? We're not hearing anything, Jennifer.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear
Okay.
you now.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Got to put it up by your head, Dave. Comes right through your ear.
I missed what you guys were talking about. My apologies. Because you muted me, so I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Sorry. I think this board has just deteriorated because of me. They told me I had to put this up by my ear to hear what you were saying.
Oh, okay.
Conflict of interest. This is the time to state any conflicts of interest you might have in the upcoming year.
Perfect. So, Ian Brimhall, PLLC, any orthopedic care, and Camp Grace, Brimhall Family Foundation, High Mountain Half Marathon, and White Mountain Youth Foundation.
Thank you. There'll be a form that Mary will have you fill out.
Okay, perfect.
All right, and Dr. Wright.
I have two potential conflicts. One is my brother, Matt Wright, is the principal partner of Wright, Welker, and Paoli. I will say that he's been representing the firm for 30 years, but because of that relationship, I would recuse myself from any determinations there. The way that our legal counsel works is the trust assigns us attorneys, like Mr. Paoli was assigned to us for this last executive session. The second one is I provide consulting for the Arizona Risk Retention Trust through my LLC game plans, and I serve as their director of the Legal and Leadership Academy. Those are the two I want to note. I filled out the form and submitted it to Mary.
Kimberly, Mary?
I don't have any conflicts.
All right. So we don't need to vote on that, I'm sure, but we've made those declarations. And Jennifer, if you'll get that form, Mary will provide it for you to her so you can have that on file.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Next item is item 1.4, a directive of annual investment, reinvestment, all monies within school district service fund. Dr. Wright or Kimberly, either one of you capable of explaining that to us?
This gives effectively Kimberly the right to invest the funds that are with the county treasurer in the market so they're interest bearing. And in order to do that, we have to have the board's approval. This is an annual requirement. Do you need to add anything to that, Kimberly?
That this is the money that's housed at the treasurer's office, and it's through an investment fund through the Navajo County Treasurer's Office.
All right. We have a motion to accept, or any discussion on that? We have a motion to accept item 1.4 as written in the agenda. Have a motion from Chuck, a second from Margaret. All in favor? Jennifer, can you say aye?
Aye.
There we go. Thank you. Next item, 1.5, governing board to delegate the purchase authority. This is just another housekeeping item. Would you explain it for everybody to us, Dr. Wright?
Yes, sir. This allows Kimberly and myself to transact business on the district's behalf, and we are bound by the policy limits set within the governing board policy, but it enables us to perform business day-to-day operations.
Any questions on that from any member of the board? If not, can I have a motion for 1.5 as stated? I have a motion from Chuck, a second from Margaret. All in favor? Aye. You got that? Aye from Jennifer. All right, the next item on the agenda is to establish the meeting dates, time, and location for our regular governing board meetings through 2004. And we've been provided a list. I don't know if we need to go over that list since it's in the minutes, but any conflicts anybody sees there? I was told by Kimberly Dugdale that we might have to have 2 board meetings in June for a financial report, which we'll cross that bridge when we get there, if we get there. Any conflicts there?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, can we have a motion to accept the calendar as presented in item 1.6? Have a motion from Chuck, a second from Diana. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, consent agenda is the next item on the agenda. Consent agenda puts together several items on the agenda, so we're going to vote on them independently. Is there anything that the board would like to exclude from the consent agenda and vote on independently, or we have a motion to accept the consent agenda as recommended? I have a motion from Diana, a second from Chuck. All in favor?
Yeah, aye.
Thank you, Jennifer. All right, item 3.1, just we're down to the superintendent's report. Dr. Wright, we'll turn time over to you.
Thank you, sir. The district has initiated a strategic planning and succession plan for the district and for the time frame of 2024 through 2027 for that 3-year period. And within this work, students, parents, community members, staff members, and anybody that has an interest in participating will have a chance to weigh in on the plans for the district. Now, what we're going to do, we want to make these plans operational. We're looking to develop 3 or 4 goals that are substantive and easy to implement and that are going to move our work forward, not a big glossy binder of information that takes 1.5 years to develop and it sits on a shelf somewhere. We're really going to work to develop those action plans to help keeping us move forward. I'm very pleased personally with the progress of each of our schools in the district, but we need to take the next step now to plan for the future. And so that will help direct our time and our resources that we have. On the 16th, we're going to engage with Dr. Nick Clement, who has offered his services at a very deep discount, and it also comes, he's going to scholarship part of the cost as well. But for a very small fee, he's going to help us for a 2.5-day period, working beginning on the 16th with students. I'm going to meet with the superintendent council, the kids council, and our facilitator. And then on the 23rd, we're inviting, the night of the 16th, we're inviting the community, any stakeholder, students, parents, community members, anybody that wants to come. And Dr. Clement will take us through a feedback session from 5 o'clock to 6:30 that night to get input from the community. And then on the 23rd, there'll be an all-day planning with a steering committee. That will be comprised of district leadership, school site leadership, teachers, students at the high school level, and support staff members. That'll be an all-day process, and what we want to come out of that work will be some action plans toward, and also a plan for the board to review that says, these are the 3 or 4 steps that we'd like to report back to the board for its review and possible approval. So that's what that looks like. This is going to kick off also an effort with Cognia, which is a district-wide effort to have our accreditation brought under the same umbrella, K through 12. And so it's very extensive. It's going to take a ton of work. Megan and Lauren and Ryan and Courtney are already working to that end. But these goals and the planning that we're doing for future is also going to be an integral part of the Cognia review and evaluation. So it's going to be, we got a lot of work coming up, but we're excited to do it because we want to engage with our community. We're going to make an effort to make sure we get that message out to the community on the 16th and invite everybody in. These are open meetings, and we'd love to have the participation. We'll make individual efforts to invite folks as well, and we hope we have a lot of participation. We also sent out from Mr. Merrill and myself a succession plan. I've been here, I'm in my 10th year now. I won't be here for another 10 years, that's for sure. Hopefully I'll be alive, but not here, doing this job for 10 more years, maybe 10 years. But in the event that I don't, or I'm ran over by a bus tomorrow, we need to have a succession plan. And within that plan, the board has identified Kimberly Dugdale as a potential candidate and has asked me to continue to give Kimberly more responsibility. Currently, in addition to serving as the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, she also oversees transportation and facilities. So she's very busy right now. She is a certified superintendent. She has a lot of experience as both a classroom teacher and also inside the district office, and is a terrific human being. So the district has not made any final determinations on that, but in our succession plan, that's our job, to name the potential candidates. And so the board will go through a process when my tenure is over to select a superintendent, but there's also a plan in place to help grow the folks that we have. Mr. Grace was promoted from a dean of students to the principal of BRUSD. I think Mr. Webb has been promoted 3, 4, or 5 times since he's been here and has about as many titles even now. Ms. Hoffmeyer was a teacher. Megan was also a teacher and also worked in our special education department before being promoted to her office, as did Mr. Archibald. So we grow our own. Our chief technology officer started out in working inside that department, and now he runs that department. So we have had, within the last virtual decade, a tendency to promote our own and grow our own people. And the board is in favor of that. That's what they've communicated to me. We are very blessed to have developed a deep pool of talent here in our district, and we're very proud. Then any questions from Mr. President from the board on either the strategic planning process or succession planning?
Just perhaps that we make a notice of a quorum for Tuesday, the 16th and the 23rd, in case we get 3 board members showed up.
Yes, sir.
Do you want us there?
You're certainly welcome to attend. I would say we talked about this with the consultant, and he said, if the school board members come and sort of watch and don't participate a lot, people will be more willing to participate. In some districts, I told them we don't have that problem, where in some districts, believe it or not, board members can be overbearing, Chuck. And
really?
And intimidating to the others. So we don't have that problem. Y'all are welcome to come, and we invite you to come, but you won't, it'll be just anything else. I would just attend as a community member, and we won't ask anything special of it, but we invite your participation.
Okay.
On the 16th.
I guess the other thing I'm curious about is, could you provide us with a list of the people that are serving on the committee?
We will, on the steering committee, we'll provide that list to you. Yes, sir. I can. Sure. We'll put that in in an upcoming update.
Just general information.
General information, yes, sir. Any other, Mrs. Gabi or Ms. Butler, anybody? Okay. Okay, did Jennifer have any questions when she's on the phone?
You have any questions, Jennifer?
No, I don't know. Thank you.
Okay. On the next item, I want to talk just a little bit about our ITM model. That's the instructional time model. This is wildly popular with the community because you can bet on a calendar. Your calendar doesn't move. The school year is not extended. We don't have snow makeup days. The ITM, or instructional time model, allows us to move forward with academic progress when we have a snow day, as it were, and students engage in an activity, and they are given credit for that activity and for their participation and attendance. And so we are able to essentially count those instructional hours. That enables us to move forward and not have to extend the school year, which has not been popular in the past. We don't have to worry about that now. And so the board adopted this at the beginning of this year, and we've had one run on it. We're prepared. The teachers and students are prepared, as is the administration. And it's really important for a rural community in an area with inclement weather and fire season and all these other hazards that can happen, that we have the ability to have this flexibility. And so we're appreciative of the board's approval of that. We'll continue to employ that. Our students and teachers are prepared. The other thing is just road conditions and hazardous conditions generally. We could go ahead and launch this pretty quickly. As a part of her responsibilities, Kimberly works in conjunction with transportation and the principals to make the ITM call. Congratulations, Kimberly. Those calls come very, very early in the morning. The implementation of a student redirection center. Mr. Archibet and Ms. Penrod and Mr. Webb are working, as is Mrs. Hoffmeyer, on a process by which, especially with this vaping issue that we've got going, that we're not turning our back on and we're not turning a blind eye to, we're going to start redirecting students into a center where, irrespective of the offense they've committed, most of them are vaping, but if it's fighting, they'll have something they have to complete, but it's vaping. We're going to launch an education and sort of a counseling campaign that these kids have to participate in. If they repeat again a second time, they're likely to find themselves coming to the redirection center on a Saturday. We're also going to use the Nexus program, the county, to help for counseling and just help these kids understand what they're doing to their bodies. Some of these kids are addicted to this device, these vaping devices. We're doing the best we can to get resources. Now, where the grace sort of stops immediately is if you're trafficking any kind of a drug, including vaping materials. That rises right to long-term suspension or possible expulsion. We handle that. Trafficking drugs, alcohol, tobacco is not allowed. The board has supported our administration the last 9 years, and we don't have near the problem that we did 9 years ago with that. And so we still, as administration, believe that that's important. We also understand that a lot of the students that are offending and repeat offending are coming from lower economic situations. They're in tough situations. We don't like just suspending kids and removing them. We really want to send them back in and redirect their efforts, provide additional support, but there'll be skin in the game. They really don't like to do extra stuff like that. This is not going to be a Disneyland fun activity, but it will be meaningful and helpful to them. At the junior high level, they'll send their kids over here, or if they have the capacity, they can do the same thing on site. Sixth graders will remain at BRUSD if it's fifth or sixth. We've had only a handful of those incidents, and it's more of a junior high school issue. And there's fighting and everything else. It's the same thing. We're not going to in-house suspend or out-of-school suspend unless there's a narrow for fewer reasons. A majority of the people and the students, a majority of the students are going to be redirected into these areas. Any questions from the board on that? Okay, I don't have anything else for the board unless there are questions on the report generally. If not, I'll turn the time back over to you, Mr. Merrill.
Any questions from the board? Jennifer, you have any questions?
No questions at this time.
All right, the next item on the agenda is call to the public, and we'd like to invite anybody that's here would like to address the board. You're welcome to do so. We'd like to have your comments limited to about 3 minutes. Gone. It doesn't look like anybody wants to talk to us tonight. Okay, next item is the announcement of our next meeting, which is February 13th at this location at 5 p.m. If there's nothing further, we have a motion to adjourn this meeting. I have a motion from Chuck, a second from Diana. All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
All right, well, thank you very much. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye.